Now, being a purposely activity directly at achieving certain aims, education is a transmitting of knowledge or fostering of skills and character traits. Recall that Asuu embarked on industrial action on February 14th over what the union described as the failure of the government to address some of its demands. These has called for defaults in the characteristics of education, as many students have failed educationally.
Time extension. That is, a student that is supposed to spend 4 years in the university, due to the strike, that student will be spending more than 4 years. And another one is that lose of interest in Nigerian education. That is, I think it will now get to a state that students will no more find interest in going to the university because they will see it as wasting of time. And that one is that it weakens the student's brain. That is, as we are home now, most of them won't have time to read. Even though if you resume back to school, they won't have that capacity to read again.
As a student now, a student that have to use 4 years in school is already using 5 years or 5 years, 6 years due to the strike, and that's affecting a lot of students.
The Asuu Strike has a lot of effect on students, which one of them is, the depreciation of the knowledge of students. We as a student, we also have learned more than where we are today.
Meanwhile, the Nigeria Labour Congress announced a nationwide protest for tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday, should the government fail to reach an agreement with the striking workers' union, thereby springing up reactions from different angles.
It is illegal because before now, federal government has not been doing anything concerning the Asuu Strike. And then when NLC came out now, I will not call it illegal because that's not supposed to be the response from the Minister of Information and Culture. It's supposed to be like, okay, we are going to work on it and see what we can do. Because before now, these people have been talking and nobody is answering them. Nobody is saying anything concerning the Asuu Strike. You know, at times I think about it, why the government are just shifting blame and they don't want to take responsibility. Now, if you are saying that the action is illegal, so what you are calling illegal now is people staying at home, students staying at home and putting their life on hold. Is that legal? No. I think the government should come up and do something about it. They had agreements and the government is not doing anything about the agreement. I think they should come up with something and then settle the whole issue.
It is a very good idea. To my own best knowledge, I found it as a very, very nice idea for them planning a protest in regards to the Asuu Strike. I believe the strike has been ongoing for like 2 months or over now. And what actually made them go on that strike is on 2 basic reasons that I found important. Number one is about the no work, no pay that the federal government has implemented. Regardless, if the federal government has done their right, these people will not go on strike. So they now still insisting, without not doing their right, that they will not pay them. So far they are not working. It is not a very, very good idea. And as we see this thing, they are actually our teacher, but they are also parents. They have kids that they are using the same money the federal government is paying them to send to other schools as well. So it is a very good idea for NLC to stand up on their toes to actually say they want to go on this strike.
Several Nigerian students affected by the industrial action have complained that while universities are closed, they mostly remain bored and idle at home while waiting for school to reopen, while several are being forced into activities that negatively affect society and their future. Most students are now into internet fraud and other related engagements to the detriment of the country. This is in addition to the fact that some of these students, having stayed at home for a long, have lost interest in education, thereby engaging in unprofitable endeavors.
Let me call it a negative effect. In fact, most students are not even, they have even forgotten that they are students. Imagine 6 months. Whenever I remember about this Asuu Strike, I do feel so bad inside me. The reason why this thing is happening is because let me say all of our leaders, may it minister, governor, president, even ordinary member of House of Assembly, their children are not in our universities. Yeah, if the students are in our universities, they won't sit down and fold their arms and be looking at their children at home for 6 months. Even their relatives who don't have much on them, they are rich, but they may not be as rich as those people. They don't have their children in public universities. Most of them are in private universities, which cannot in any way be affected by the strike.
Due to the news we had, what really brought about the Asuu Strike is that the government is not ready to fulfill their demands.
The education factor of Nigeria is bad. That's the major problem we're having. Is our government, nothing. Because if those lecturers they are paid what they deserve, nothing will prompt them on going on strike. Students
are therefore implored to learn and acquire new skills while at home, rather than using their time to hang out on social media.
Government should please listen to what they are asking, give them their demands, give them what their needs, so that we students can resume back to school.
We do say we are leaders of tomorrow, but when the leaders of tomorrow are not yet going to school, as in due to the strike, so how are we going to be the leader of tomorrow?
What I really have to tell my colleagues at home that they shouldn't waste their time. Maybe they should involve in one or two things, that is learning, or if they really have money to go into business, they should do it. They shouldn't just sit down at home and be sleeping.
They will tell you tomorrow we'll call up the strike. Is a lie. In a few weeks now you will hear that they have extended the strike with another 1 month. They are Nigerian students. Anything you know you can do that can bring you money, please do it legally. Try to look for something. Try to look for something to be doing. Like try to learn a trade. I'm a photographer by profession. I can say it anywhere, and God is helping me.
Hence, the federal government should at least identify with the union's clamor, since it is in the best interest of public tertiary institutions. Both parties must forge a new mode of communication that recognizes the yearnings of Nigerians. There is also the need for committed ministers of labor and education who can drive the government to do the needful. This is necessary to put the country on the path of steady development.